Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day to you, whoever you are, wherever you are. I am DJ LP, and you are joining us live on passionradiouk.com. And it is a pleasure, it's an honor, it's a privilege, as always, to be able to welcome back to the show Marcus Morgan Valentine. We've had him on the show before. He is an equity, diversity, inclusion, and access facilitator and consultant. He is, and if I say it wrong, Marcus, please just step in and say, adult education practice improvement consultant, conference and strategic international events manager and speaker, mental health first aider, advocate, and executive business coach, personal advisor, providing, is it IASG?
It's
IA.
information, advice, support, and guidance.
Thank you.
You're welcome
Give me
indeed.
the acronym. Yeah, man.
No,
Give me that again.
I am information, advice, guidance, and support advocate, and also advisor, and I do various different things. This simply means that I help people along their journey. And in regards to this particular conversation, I have now been counseling couples for the last 20 plus years. So myself, I am a man who's separated. I am no longer with my wife, who I once was before, but I am still counseling couples and have done for years. I love doing it. So helping them from when they first initially begin their relationship, right the way through until they come to the point of deciding maybe we want to get married, whomever they are, wherever they are. And then afterwards as well. So not just the pre, but the post support as well.
Which is equally important, isn't it?
Well, I think the issue is most people get prepared for weddings. They don't get prepared for marriage.
That's the right. Okay. And that is what we're going to be talking about today in part. What I want to do is read I don't know, a segment to you, which is going to form the basis of our conversation today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these are the 17 silent battles that you will fight depending on who you marry. So the statement starts by saying that marriage is not just about love, it's about understanding what comes with the person you are choosing. Every individual carries the weight of their background, beliefs, scars, and survival patterns. And these often determine the kind of battles you will face silently in marriage. Number one, if you marry an orphan, expect to struggle with attachment, trust, and sometimes over independence or deep-seated fear of abandonment. They may struggle to accept help or lean on you emotionally because they've been wired to survive alone. Number two, if you marry someone who never healed from their childhood trauma, you'll face emotional outbursts regularly, silent treatments, irrational fears, or unexplained anger. Their reactions may be driven by old wounds, not current realities. Number three, if you marry someone whose life revolves around their career, you may become emotionally starved. Work will always come first. You'll have to fight for their time and attention, and sometimes feel like you're sharing them with their ambition.
Ooh.
Note to my future partner. Number four, if you marry someone who's always been praised, pampered, or the center of attention, they may struggle with correction.
Yes.
Conflict might feel like personal rejection to them. Entitlement may follow them into marriage, making them resistant to compromise. The next one, if you marry the daughter of a rich man, you might battle pride, unrealistic expectations, or a sense of superiority. If they've never known struggle, they might not understand or support you during hard times. Also, your efforts might be overlooked because it's no big deal to them. Number 6, if you marry someone with children, you'll face loyalty conflicts, unresolved drama with ex-partners, and a constant need to manage emotional dynamics between you and their children. I think that's a common one. Number 7, if you marry an already established and rich man or woman, power dynamics may be an issue. You may struggle with relevance, control, or feelings of inferiority if they see you as a project or an add-on. Okay, number 8, if you marry someone who's very religious or only listens to their pastor, you'll struggle with autonomy. Decisions may be outsourced to religious leaders. You may find yourself spiritually policed instead of spiritually supported. Number 9, if you marry someone with an unholy mindset about sex, sex may become a tool for manipulation, guilt, or perversion. They may use sex for control or treat it as a taboo topic rather than a bonding tool. Number 10, if you marry someone with low emotional intelligence, you'll be explaining feelings they can't understand. Apologies may be rare. You'll often feel unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. Number 11, if you marry a widow or a widower, divorced person, or someone who lost the love of their life, you may constantly compete with memories. They may still grieve. You'll understand, or rather, you'll need to understand that love is not always starting from a blank slate.
Ooh,
It's deep, isn't it?
very. I'm trying not to comment. Please go ahead.
Okay. If you marry someone, or rather, if you marry the first daughter of a broken home, she may be hyper independent, guarded, and emotionally burdened.
Dear me.
She may expect you to disappoint her or may find it hard to receive love. 13, if you marry the richest son of a poor family, you'll likely struggle with extended family pressure. He may be carrying the weight of many people's survival, and you'll constantly be reminded that he's not just yours. If you marry someone who believes marriage is the ultimate achievement, they may have no vision beyond the wedding. You'll be stuck with someone who doesn't evolve or grow.
Ooh, I won't say anything there. No comment.
Shall I read that one again?
Why not?
Okay. If you marry someone who believes marriage is the ultimate achievement, they may have no vision beyond the wedding. You'll be stuck with someone who doesn't evolve or grow. I know so many people who they just dream of their wedding day.
And they don't prepare for marriage. All the work is done. All the work is done for the wedding.
Yeah.
All the plans for the wedding. And then afterwards, they're like, and now what?
Yeah.
Let's move along.
If you marry someone who has never worked a day in their life, responsibility and contribution may be foreign concepts. You'll be emotionally and financially stretched.
Drained.
If you marry someone pressured into marriage by age, family, or society, resentment will find its way into your home. They might never truly choose you in their heart. Okay. If you marry someone who lives by comparison, especially through social media, peace will always be disturbed. They will chase illusions and drag you into unnecessary stress.
I think the sound after that is dun dun dun.
In it, yeah. Hey. And
Let's.
the final one,
Oh,
if you marry someone whose entire identity is tied to culture or tradition, you may fight unseen battles with extended family, gender roles, or
mm,
outdated expectations. Personal boundaries may be ignored in the name of culture. We conclude with this. Remember, and hear me, you won't marry a blank slate. You'll marry a story, a belief system, a survival pattern, a history. And every part of who they are will show up in your marriage,
mhm.
whether healed or unhealed. This is why love is not enough. You must know what you can handle and what you're willing to live with and what you cannot tolerate. Because marriage is not just about what you gain, it's also about what you are willing to carry. Now, this is from hashtag Powerful Africa. It's a WhatsApp group. And if you want more information on the proverbs that they offer and the insights that they provide, hit me up. I'm DJ LP on Passion Radio. And here we have Marcus Morgan Valentine.
No.
The two of us are about to tart the tings.
Park up the things.
Park up the tings. Now, I can't really talk, Marcus,
No, no, no,
because
you
I've
can
never
because you
been.
have observed marriages, you have observed relationships, and all the various ships we have, from relationship to marriage ship to friendship, and all the different variations of those ships. And often some of those are wreckage ships.
They are.
They might look like ships that can work, but actually their functionality thereafter it doesn't work at all. Or you might be on the ship, because actually relationships means that we change ships and then create one ship together. And in that one-manship, we have a problem. Because often the way you run your ship, the way I run my ship are two different ways. And it's how the two meet together in tandem is often where it is that friction occurs. And it's in that friction that we can have a problem. I often say to people that if you consider marriage a bit like when you find someone, some of them, if you find them very easily, it probably means that if you think about sand and then sea, if you're on the sand, it's easy to pick up a whatever it might be, a stone or maybe a shell. But if you go in the deep, that's where you find the precious stones and the precious gems. That's one where you've got to actually change what you're wearing because you can't breathe in those depths of waters. So if you have indeed gone to deep places to find your partner, then that's when it is through the work that you put in, then you get so much more out because that's where the precious gems are in the deep. But most of us are used to just going the shallowness of social media, on the sands of social media, where we can easily pick up and collate and then bring ourselves to another person, not realizing the weight that they carry, the history that comes with them, who they actually are might not actually be revealed until you really do come together, which is part of my story and part of many other stories that I've had to deal with over the past. So what they've decided is we show just a face, don't we? We come together. We show our best foot forward. None of us show our red flag straight away, do we? We always
Mm,
bring out the best and the good about me. I present myself well when I go and meet my partner. I don't show them what I look like when I wake up first thing in the morning, when I
mm,
haven't washed my face. So maybe my arm doesn't smell so clean and I don't feel so good. And maybe I've been drooling. That's not the face you show. You show
mm.
the washed face, the cleansed face, the well prepared face. You put on, if you are, or whoever you are, your lipstick, you put on your makeup and you present yourself well. When actually we don't see the real roughness on the underskirts of your being. And that's where it really is.
I think that's where I'm quite real
Ah,
because I know that my previous partner, my last partner, he had a problem with the fact that at that time I wouldn't put on makeup and I wasn't the type to be wearing weave and all that kind of stuff. I as you see, this is who I am. I'm not putting on no fakery to make myself appear to be somebody that I'm not. Since not being with him anymore, I have attempted to become more feminine. But in those days, I was like, no, this is
can I
who I am.
challenge you there? You
Go
said
on then.
become more feminine. Makeup doesn't make you feminine. Makeup is a mask. Makeup is to
Yeah,
cover up the natural person that you are. What he
yeah.
should have been doing instead is applauding you for your own natural self. Because that's the one he's going to see much more than the one that's put together and placed in this feminine space. When actually, in reality, your femininity is your being within, not your being without.
I think I'm quite a masculine person,
I
really.
disagree. I mean,
Yeah.
look at you right now. You've just got a bit of lipstick on. I don't believe you've got loads of makeup on.
No,
And
I
then
don't. Yeah,
there we go. See, that's your
yeah.
natural self. You got your regular glasses on. I don't believe you got some glasses that are specifically just for this interview.
No.
See, I don't think so. You just got an earring and a lovely necklace. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
That doesn't
yeah.
bring your femininity because anyone, I've got a necklace. Do you know what I mean? I don't have
True.
an earring on today. I usually do, but not today. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? So that doesn't now make me feminine. It just means that's part of the way is I present in myself. That doesn't
Yeah,
make me feminine. Your femininity is the intricacies of your being, the who-ness of who you are from within that comes without. And it's that exudation that helps us to experience you in your femininity.
you're good.
That's why I'm being interviewed.
Okay, all right. Okay, okay. So let's go to, that list of different people that you're
Mm,
likely to marry. Did any of those stand out to you? I went through them quite quickly. There were about
mm,
17 or 18 there.
mm.
And I know that as I was speaking them, you were like,
Yeah, I was try not to speak because I've seen them all in
right,
various different people in regards to my own as well, in regards to my own
yeah,
marriage. I mean, the reality is that we got together through friendship. And it was through
okay,
our friendship that friendship then developed some years later, about 7 years later or so, to
okay.
us then becoming, well, 6 years later actually, for us to becoming a couple. And then a year and a half later, then we then got married, you know? And we started off on the first ship, which was friendship, then
Mm,
to move towards the courtship, and then from courtship to marriage ship. What we didn't realize though is that the expectations as we went through those stages changed for one of us, not for me so much, but for her. And because it changed for her, she expected different things from me that I didn't actually know. And because
mm,
I didn't know, I couldn't actually give her what she wanted at the time because I didn't know she wanted it. But the
mm,
expectation was there. But the acknowledgement and the speaking, the sharing of what that was never actually shared until much later. There was a belief that was going on within her that I didn't have any privy to at all. And it's as times went on, then when the frictions then started and the problems began, I later found out that there was all these expectations that I didn't know anything about. And I thought, hold on, so when did this happen? And the assumption was, well, we're married, so I thought you'd know. No, I can't know unless you share it with me. And that's what
mm,
I'm talking about, the fact that we don't always share the truth or the fullness of who we are and what we actually want, we actually desire for real. So when married, and that's the questions you need to ask yourself before getting married. When we're married, what would you expect of me? What would you expect of me in regards to the time we spend together? Are there things that I do right now you expect me not to do anymore or to do less of? Is it you expect me to then come home at a certain time? What are you looking for? I finished work and I'll come home. Absolutely. But when I was serving, doing church and other things, I would be serving. But I didn't realize the expectancy that after church, let's go straight home. When
right,
actually, I've always mingled, I've always been that social
yeah,
creature. Although I'm an extroverted introvert, although that's the case, there's an expectation that I would then connect with people because that was my ministry assignment after church. But yet, so at that time, that was not what was expected often. It was expected that after a certain time, come on, let's go home. I didn't know. I didn't know that was an expectation because they've always seen me do something and I've
mm,
always done it. And there was no problem then. So when we were
mm,
married, I didn't expect there to be a problem again because we were both going to the same place, to the same house. But
mm.
then later I found that that was not what was required. Requirement, now it's just me and you, let's go. And it's those sort of expectations that change. That means that when we move from those friendships to courtships to relationships and then maybe marriageship, that most people don't explain to others. And that's
Mm.
where the friction happens because we don't know that that's what's expected.
I think what you're saying as well, though, comes down to the fact that actually we don't even know who ourselves are. We don't know who we are. So we don't know necessarily all the time what our red flags are. And sometimes, like, as you said, when we're meeting with somebody, we want to put our best face on,
Yeah,
don't we? We want to be liked. We want to be loved. We want
Yeah.
to be admired and adored.
Yes.
But oftentimes, I don't think we know the flaws that we're carrying. And sometimes it all comes down to communication, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But how
And
do you
how do you put language to something that you don't know?
Yeah,
Because often the thing is because you've not been to that place that you don't know. If you've been married before, then you might have an idea. If you've seen certain things before. So, for example, no shade, but it's true. With my mum and father, my mum and dad, I've never seen them argue.
right.
Never. In my whole life, never. I might hear them from the bedroom, that's it, you know? But that
Yeah,
was it. Do you know what I mean? And even then, it wasn't anything at all.
yeah.
But the reality, and when I say bedroom, I don't mean they were doing things. I mean they were just disagreeing, having a heated discussion, just so people are clear. It's
Yes,
not
yes.
everyone goes to different total minds. Let's keep it real.
All right.
But the reality, I didn't. So when I then came across marriage, I didn't know this argue thing. What is this? Why are
Mm,
we arguing? Let's discuss this. No, but I don't understand why you're so high pitched and vexed. Why are you so upset? Yeah, but what is that? I don't know that because that's not where I came from. I'm not saying they came from that. I'm just saying that was not my experience. But that's what they wanted, that heated, let's go for it, let's talk about it. Yeah, I'm happy to
yeah,
talk about it, no problem. But I'm not going to talk about it the way you want me to talk about it because that's foreign to me. Then that becomes a red flag for them because if you're not doing that, then it doesn't mean this. Well, I don't know that, do I? A plus B does not always equal C. Sometimes it's S, sometimes it's Q. But we've got to discuss that and meet together in the same place. But if you don't have that space, we have agreement of how we disagree. How do you argue together? How do you fight? How do you tumble together? How do you manage that? And how do you manage the fact that I've come from a family that we don't argue very
mm,
much at all? We talk, we discuss. Let's sit down, let's talk. But instead, that one's got to get so upset, and they haven't talked for so long. And by the time they do, they're just really angry and really upset. Well, that's for me. That doesn't work because that
mm,
means you are not able to have a conversation. That means you want a discussion on your point and not mine. We're moving from different vibrations, from different sound fields. We're not moving from the same spheres. We're foreigners in different lands, and that's what happens often in relationships, friendships, and even worse in marriage.
mm. True. Yeah, and I think it is good to highlight that it's not just, a loving marriage that we're talking about. It can relate to all different types of
All type of
relationships.
relationships. But we're talking about the things, and the things is ships, aren't they? As I said to you, you got friendship, you might have court, you might have relationship, then friendship, courtship, and then marriage ship.
Mm,
Whatever the ships are, the way you run your ship is different from me. And the coming together is the problem. How do we then gel as two ships together? What if you are that orphan and therefore you're used to being abandoned? You're used to not being able to connect. You're used
mm,
to when things happen, you pull away because you're used to doing things by yourself. Now suddenly you're together and someone's saying, no, hold on, we don't do it like that. We're not going to go down that road. No, actually, I don't like that. And you got to make those changes when you talk about those people. What if you do run your life by social media? And therefore, social media says this, so that's how we're going to do it. No, actually, we're not doing that because that person isn't dealing with social media in the same sort of way. How do
yeah,
we do those? How do we make those changes? And how is it as well, if we're having problems, how do we discuss that? Is it that you need to exert yourself and maybe become violent or physical or move in abuse levels? Because that's the only way for you to be able to exert if you feel better. Hence why we have so much domestic violence and
mm,
domestic abuse all over the world. Because often people want to overlay what they think should be happening. And that's both from males and both from females and however they interact. It's on both sides of the coin. Whomever your relationship, however you both relationship, whether you are man with man, woman with woman, uh, man and woman, whatever it is, you do your thing, you do your way. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about two people. Sometimes it's more if you're polyamorous, but that's another discussion for another day. Hello.
yeah,
Let's not talk about that. That's another story for a very different day. But depending on where your relationship is, it's often people don't want to then meet each other halfway because they don't know what halfway looks like. Some people are used to just their way and no other way. Other people are used to dumbing down. Or like you said before, there's one there that listens to the pastor. And spiritual leaderships make decisions outside of the marriage, outside of the connection,
mm,
outside of the relationship, outside of the friendship. There's still
mm,
ships, however your ship is informed. Whether the wind of your sails is from yourself and from your love and from your consideration, or the wind of your sails is from the speech of your ancestors, or the speech of your community, or the speech of social media. Whatever the inputs are, we have to make a decision on what we then decide to then say, yes, that's okay, or that's not. I always describe relationships like this, and this was something we were told when myself and my wife at the time was going to actually come together. That relationships are fertile ground, and you'd have to decide what you're allowed to go in there. You got to defend from some things. You got to chop up some stuff. There's some things people try and pour in there. You got to literally pluck that thing out and throw it away. You got to be able to defend that ground very, very powerfully because it's fertile because two have come together. And when two or whatever has come together, because maybe there's children already there, who knows? It might be blended families coming together. There's so many
Mm,
different things and aspects to look at. And there's experiences that you both have had. My
mm.
experience is not your experience. We could be coming from the same country, the same tribe, or whatever the case may be. That does not mean that we're coming from the same space. We just see things differently because we're individuals. My ship, your ship, should come together as ships. Let's try and then work in harmony together before we become one ship together. That merging of ships is where the problem begins.
It's long. It's long.
Not that long sounded loaded.
It's long. It's long. Because it's not even it's even that, yeah. It's all of that that you've mentioned,
Yes.
whether they've got children, they've got exes, they've got in-laws, or rather they've got their parents and
Or they've got bills. Or they've got unresolved issues. I keep telling
unresolved
people
issues.
one person should come as one whole individual, then one whole individual, if it's one on one, that's the same, and then the two then able to become one because they are two wholes. Not 50% me and 50% you and become then one. It doesn't work that way. I become a whole person, you are the whole person, the wholes come together, merge to become one massive whole as in H, as in WHOLE, as in wholesome. But the issue we have instead is people will collide together rather
Mm.
than moving in harmony together. And we should be moving together like this, and then slowly we then able to then really then link very slowly. But what we just have people slashing against each other and clashing, rather than coming and decided that for harmony to occur, for these two hands to clap, we just clap like this. As for those that are able to visually see. You can
Mm.
clap like this, but we come together in harmony. One hand cannot clap. That's what my grandfather used to always say. Two come together, but for us to become strong, one has to turn, so does the other. And then agreement, we then link together, and it's in this space no one can break, where our hands, our fingers are clenched and become our own one fist, my hand and your hand together. And it's in that harmony where I bend one direction, you bend in another direction. In that process, we then become a whole together as one. But what happens is while I'm bending, I'm upset because I'm bending more than you're bending. You're twisting more than I am. And I don't like the way you did this. And there's always this stuff. Rather than us just actually saying, you know what, I love you enough to sacrifice part of me to become part of you.
So are you a romantic? Do you believe in marriage? Do you believe in love?
I think marriage is a beautiful gift, but a lot of work that most of us don't put the work in for it. I think if people put a lot more work into it and actually talk up the things for real.
Yeah.
Like I've got debt, talk up the things.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I before used to have a very wild sex life, talk up the things. I before, I'm not saying this for me, I'm saying this things people got different histories. I don't just marry the person, I don't just marry their family, I also marry their history, and they come with their history. Have you
Yeah.
had STIs before? Do you know, were you doing drugs before? Are you doing drugs now? What's happening? What's going on? Do you believe in God? Do you not believe in God? Do you believe in ancestors? Do you not believe in ancestors? Do you believe in afterlife? Do you not? Do you believe we come back or we don't? Do you believe in nothing at all and after death that's just it? What do you believe? What do you hold fast to? What do you think? What keeps you going? What's at your core?
Yeah. Are you happy in yourself? Are
Yes,
your parents together still? Is there any
yes.
mental health? Has
Oh, that's a
anything
big one.
happened in your
Press
whole
stop.
family?
Wait, press stop right there. You said the M word, mental health, whether
Mm,
good or bad.
yeah,
Are they emotional? You're making me shout now. Are they emotional issues?
yeah.
Let's talk about the things.
Mm,
Are you in counseling? Have you had psychotherapy? Do you have to take special drugs to calm down? Have you got additional needs? Is there disability in your family? Are you disabled? Have you got additional needs? Have you got ADHD? Or do you think people have told you that, but you don't know? And later on, they find that they do, like a couple I'm dealing with right now. And
I
that's not.
remember I remember once I had a friend and she met her husband. They had previously gone to school together and then they re-met in a club. I believe it was, yeah, they re-met in a club and then they spent the next 363 days together. And then they got married after 363 days.
Just under a year.
Yeah. Only 2 nights they spent apart
Okay.
and they got married after the year. On the honeymoon, she calls me. Oh, no, they came back from the honeymoon. She calls me up, Laura, come to my house. You've got to come to my house. You've got to come now. And I'm like, okay. Jumped in the car, went round there. What's wrong? He's standing there in his boxer shorts. He's got sunburn from head to toe. And she's there weeping. Yeah. So it would seem that he wouldn't listen to her when she said put on the suntan lotion. So he get bun up. And then it had led to the statement from him, well, if I knew that you didn't want children, I would never have married you in the first place. He was an only child and he thought that he would have children. She had no intentions ever of having children. They had spent 363 days in each other's company and they had never asked those questions.
They didn't talk up the things.
They didn't, you know? So, you know, oftentimes people might say, well, when is the right time to talk about it? When do you broach the subject of, you know, I
Just
think
once you think there's history, once you think you've got history and you've got an opportunity for future, start from there. But my thing is, I always say to every couple, talk up what your non-negotiables are. What are your non-negotiables? Because that's where it really starts. That's where breaks are going to happen. Non-negotiables are this. Then that would have come up.
it would have done
But
it. Would have.
so in the excitement, because I keep telling people, relationship is warfare. And it's warfare chemically. Because when you get excited with each other, you got hormones going off to each other, and that's what you're moving off, and that's where your high is. If you're not careful, you're not even thinking straight. That dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin, don't get me started. All of them are working strong in that body, and that body is literally high off that thing. And if you're not careful, that's what's moving your 363 days. Then suddenly reality hits.
Yeah. And it's too late.
So it's not just the fact his skin's burn off. It's the fact that now he wants a child or children and she's not interested. Why did that not come up? That's the non-negotiables. That's the
Yeah.
thing I tell you. If you fix your non-negotiables, if you
Yeah.
start with your non-negotiables, I say start early. And if you think there's some future here, let's just start right then. Just get it out there open, speak it up already. Because if you took it, then there's no problem, isn't there? Because you already took up the things.
No, but there is a problem. See, I'm very, I don't know, maybe the word is pessimistic when it comes to relationships and all them things
That's why
there.
you should talk up the things.
Yeah, I just think it's all long. But then, okay, so you get with somebody, yeah, or you're with somebody, you're going out
Yeah.
with them, you're seeing them, and it's all good and everything, and then they come out with, I'm bipolar, I was abused as a child, I've got this problem, that problem, and the next problem, and anything you say after that, you're screwed because they got in there first.
Whether they did or they didn't, at least you know where you stand.
Uh-huh. And that's when you
And
get
that's
to
why you have the conversation about non-negotiables early.
that's when you get to step in it, because the longer you stay in that, then the more they can become the victim because they've already laid it on the table. I've got this, that, and the other, and
Well,
then
my
whatever
issue,
bad
though,
behavior.
my issue is this. Why is it a competition? It should be a conversation.
That's it.
So let's
it
talk about it now. What is your issue? What do you have? What doesn't work for you? What is your problem and what's my problem? What's the worst thing about me that I need to share? What's the one thing I probably haven't said yet, but I need to tell you? Those are questions I get couples to ask each other. That's why most of the time they either really win with me or they don't. I ask them those questions. Are there some sexual things that you've done in the past that you might still want to do again?
Right.
And I had that question with one couple. I never forget it. It was a shock of my life, not for me, but for them. When the guy said, yeah, I've had sex with 12, 14 people in one room at the same time, and I would love to do it again. Will you join me? And she looked like, you have got to be kidding me. I could just about have sex with one, and you want to bring another 13 in the room. Have you lost your mind?
Well, I will remind you that we are on the radio. So, yeah, let's maybe continue that part of the conversation after the show because I'm very interested in knowing how that,
I won't
because
tell
it's
you any
about
more.
compromise.
Oh no, no, no! I'm not going to tell you anything more on that one because this is daytime. It's radio. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that offline.
But it is about compromise, though, isn't it? And if somebody comes out with something like that, are you willing to compromise? I can't say that I'm a compromised person. So, I
You
mean,
convinced me there at all.
I'm I don't think I'm a compromised person, but likewise, I'm not an argue person. I don't have time for none of that, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and I just think, and I know that I keep on saying it, but I just think it's so incredibly long. Relationships, having to navigate this person and that person and their ancestors and the demons that they're bringing from their past and their parents and their siblings and their children and their exes. It's long. It's not
It's not
actually the one
long, it's hard
person.
work, but relationships are hard work, and that's what I say to people. Relationships are like ships. Ships are hard work. Even when they're docked, you got to make sure they're docked correctly, otherwise they can't work.
I
There's
think,
things we've got to do with them. You've got to keep them clean. You've got to keep them tidy. You've got to make sure and tend to them. You've got to make sure and oil some parts, water some parts, clean some parts, make sure other parts are working, check some parts are working. So I keep telling people a lot of bigger issues I keep saying to people in relationships is we don't deal with our rudders. Your rudder is right the way at the bottom of the ship, one little tiny thing at the back, but it's huge. Because if that rudder ain't working properly, you ain't going to be directed in the correct direction. You've got
right,
the steering wheel up here, but the rudder's at the back.
right. So stay single and know thyself.
Or stay single, know yourself, and then opportunity comes. Make sure be open and honest and real about what it is you really want, what you really need, and what you'd really like to see happening. Because I say to couples, right, you've done all that work, you're going to do all that work to get married. That's great. Now to get wedding ship, I call it. Now when it comes to marriage ship, what are you going to put into it? I said that's the problem. So don't do all this work just for the one day, and then when it now comes to what the whole history of how it's however long you'll be together, you haven't done the work then. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, no, no.
I
But
say
then,
to people, show me your scars. What are your scars? What are the non-negotiables? What's the most difficult things you've been through in your life? What things you've seen in other people's lives that you thought was most heinous and most difficult? Ask those difficult questions so those flags can be brought in the room. Whether they're red, green, pink, or purple, doesn't matter. Bring the flags in, because if you want to have something that's going to be worthwhile and make it happen, then you can actually bring that forward and find out what it is. I found couples that have been great together, but they've got one of them is a big gambler.
mm,
And
mm.
that became one of the things that was going to break their marriage. Another couple who was deep in drugs, of all sorts of illicit drugs. The wife didn't have a clue. And before you knew it, they were doing some serious stuff. And he didn't even know that she didn't know. He thought she knew because they came from that era when they first knew each other. She didn't realize he still was in that era.
Right.
She'd moved on and
Mm.
out. He was still in and amongst.
And that's another thing. When you marry young, like, do you grow together? You don't always grow together, do you? And
Well, the whole
sometimes,
world grows with you.
say that again.
The whole world grows with us. We grow together, don't we? The whole world grows together.
Yeah.
So I grow with you, you grow with me, we're good. The thing is, we've got to make the decision to grow together. You
Mm.
may sphere off a bit, I sphere off a bit, but we're still in tandem. We're still working together. Remember that those hand clasps together. We might have some ricochet, but we're growing together. The issue is that we grow separate and then more separate until there's only one person in the picture. The other one has gone out of the picture
Gone.
altogether.
Them gone. There was one of those comments was about emotional intelligence.
Oh, I need to drink some water on that one.
Okay. And mind your business. So, yeah,
You
emotional
know what? That's
intelligence.
exactly what I was thinking. It mind my business.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is one of the biggest issues I've found in most relationships because people make assumptions rather than look at truths. The assumptions in relationships is that because I've seen you do well here, then that means you've done well. It doesn't mean you done it with well. It might mean that you parked it. It might mean that you're going to deal with that later on. It doesn't mean you're okay with it. It doesn't mean that things are okay. It doesn't mean that you manage issues or conflicts well. Lots of people don't.
Mm. Yeah.
In my own
And
relationship, conflict was a big issue because I deal with conflict different from them. For me, conflict is come, let's talk. Conflict is you should know. No, I don't know. Tell me.
you should know and you should fix, and it's your responsibility.
Yes, 100%. Or suddenly it can be you be the man, you be the woman, you be the person, you be the fixer, you sort it out because that person is used to being rescued. It just
Mm.
depends on what we come with. And because we come with all these things from the cradle,
Mm.
literally, to the place where we get married, all that stuff comes with us, all of it. And if you've not dealt with it in the past, it's going to hit you in the present or the future. Because what you ain't dealt with is coming for you, and it's coming for you real.
So stay single. Stay single and know yourself. Know yourself. I don't think that I despair when people are kind of rushing to they have to go from one relationship to the next one to the next one because they have to be with somebody because they can't bear to be alone. Your first relationship is with yourself, you know.
No, that's if you recognize that you have a ship with yourself. If you don't
Okay.
realize that you yourself are a ship, then relationships is what makes you. That's the issue. Most people see HR, it's a big one. Most people see ships as we come together. I'm on a ship, and therefore we become a relationship. No, we're two ships together, two hulls that want to become one. Not just one person, and then that person becomes something because somebody's with them. No, 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 no. You're already a ship yourself. You're going along life, so therefore you're on a ship. You are. You're in the life ship by yourself or with somebody, whatever the case may be. But you've got to understand that you are an individual first before you are together with the person. One heart, one
Okay.
mind, one soul.
So that's why somebody always has to be kind of yielding. There has to be like a people pleaser, or, it's like if you have
Not,
two,
why did you call it people pleaser? That's such a strong term. People pleaser suggests that you have to almost go below yourself. What
yeah,
there's said is there's agreement that I love that person enough that I give them the space for them to go forward. I'm not people pleasing.
sacrifice.
Sacrifice is what I know. Marriage, relationships, friendships, love ship, courtship, whatever ship you're on, even if it's just your own ship, it is sacrifice. If you're not going to sacrifice, then don't waste your time. For example, let's talk about a Christian one, for example. When they go to the altar, if you're talking about a man and a woman, generally the man stands at the altar, the woman comes down the aisle and meets the man there. I always describe it as this: altar does not mean a great place of celebration, it's a place of death. So the man is dying for who he was. The woman comes to her death and meets her death partner. They both die at the altar, and then when they finish their vows, they become a new ship together. Those two ships they were die.
Okay. And then what happens after this glorious wedding on which they've spent thousands
If they
pleasing
decide to spend
everybody
time,
else,
because I
feeding
don't know
everyone?
why people even do that. I don't understand the worth of all of that. For me, I keep saying to people, if I ever was to do it again, which I'm not, if I was, and let that be on record, Marcus ain't doing it again. Good. But if I was mad enough to, something really knock off my head, I doubt it ever to happen because I'm not interested, then I would never do I would not. I would do what other people have. I've heard other people say, and I love the idea. Just go off, just do your registration. A few friends over for a meal, it's done. Next. Let's concentrate and put some real work in what happens afterwards. Not all
Mm.
that stuff for everyone to see, because what does it make any difference? Because all those people was at my wedding, where are they?
Mm. Yeah,
Some are dead now. Some I
yeah,
never heard from again.
yeah,
Some we have no contact.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Some have moved on. Some are, they're no longer alive. They are
Mm.
unalived. You know, for whatever reason that might be. That's the reality. Life goes on. And we have to make a decision when we're really talking up the things to be real, open, honest, and true. And show all your scars. Open your chest, show your real heart, and show what's really going on. Show what's really happening on the inside. Because the reality is, people come. I spoke to one couple, one I'll never forget it. The couple came in to the home, sat down, and I was like, "Oh my God, what's happened?" They're like, "Mark," I said, "Don't play with me. I can feel it." I said, "It felt like he came in with loads of suitcases, and she came in with trolleys full of bags. And what's the problem?" Then they hit me with all the madness that was going on. And by the time they finished, I said, "Right, you said your part. You said your part. How do you feel?" They went, "So much better." I said, "That's great. Now what do you do?" And they couldn't go any further. It's like, we don't know what to do. I said, well, that's the problem. You got so used to carrying your weights and your offenses and your upsets. You were never thinking about what it's like that when we talked about the whole thing, what do we do next? Because you got used to carrying rather than supporting or sharing. So share it instead. And she burst into tears. He burst into tears. They grabbed each other and said, we've been doing this wrong. I said, yes, you have. Stop it. You're not children. You're adults. Children do that. Bring all their stuffing together. You know, they come with their bag and their toys and their bottle and whatever else they bring. Adults should not be doing that. They should grow up and get on with it. And I keep saying marriage and is for grown folk. True relationships are for grown folk. If you're young, stay young, keep your behind quiet, and you're good. Sorry, the term keep your behind quiet means to keep yourself quiet. It's a West Indian term.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that explanation. But then you've got like, adults, you've got people who have been in relationships, they're adult people.
I know
But
people can bring in children issues. Sometimes the only difference between the adult, between them, I always say this when it comes to men, the only difference between an adult and a child is that they pay more, an adult pays more for the toys that they play with.
okay, all right. Because oftentimes their inner child is in pain or the pain.
Or the inner child is the one ruling the space.
Yeah, yeah.
And therefore, because that child is ruling the space, we've got an issue. And we keep going by the same issue because I've worked it in a child for a number of people before. And that inner child wants to rule, it wants to get recognition, wants to be seen. So there are things we can do to help that child to be seen, absolutely. But the child doesn't have to rule. The inner child is within. That's still the adult without, though. So therefore, let's tend to the child, do what needs to be done, and then the adult now can take over. There is something called transactional analysis, speaks about parent, adult, child. The fact that we then respond to things through one of those three areas within us. The child always wants to be seen, heard, responded to, supported, tended to and calmed and all the rest of it. The parent always trying to protect that child, so it's on defense, always trying to find reasons why. The adult in us is where we always should be, is a place that's actually saying, you know what, this is what I need to do, and takes responsibility, takes the charge, takes actually this is what I need to do. Transactional analysis is called. Transactional analysis, I said that quite quick. And I find it great because we all don't need to have a conversation. Like right now, we're having two adult conversations. You're the adult, I'm the adult.
Mm.
If I start becoming defensive, I might be the parent at that time. But
Okay.
actually, right now, I'm not. I'm being the complete adult right now because I'm talking up the things. That's what adults do. So let's be adults in the room. And let's talk up the things for real. And let's be real. And let's open up about what our issues really are.
Mm.
Another thing that's a big issue is masturbation. I won't talk too much about that because this is a television show. Not a television show, sorry, it's a radio show.
Radio show. Yeah.
But it's an
And
issue.
recorded. Right. Yeah,
There's
some
some
people
issues as
have
well.
a
Some people overeat.
yeah.
Some people have issues with their weight.
Some
Some
people
things,
don't sleep.
it's your soft place. Some people have sleep issues. Like me, I've got a sleep disorder. Hello. I got married and found it out a year later after being married. I had
Right.
no clue. Everyone just called it dropsy. I didn't realize there's something called cataplexy and narcolepsy. Found out that later on. But then, though that was the process, I later found out that though I was giving information when I finally found out fullness about it, people weren't really paying attention. No, it's fine, it's Marcus. Let me have an incident in front of them, though. They're like, oh my God, what do we do?
Mm.
Particularly if it's cataplectic, because the face
Yeah.
looks like having a stroke.
Mm.
My face leans, it starts to slur. I can't speak properly. I can't see, I can't hear. I can hear, I can feel, I can't see.
So
And I can't.
this is a challenge. sorry to interrupt you, but it is a challenge then if you're in a relationship with somebody and then something happens and then it turns out that they do have an issue, you
And
know?
that's why you should talk up those things from the start. What are you like when madness happens? What are you like? When trouble happens, what if we have a car accident and suddenly I can't walk anymore?
Yeah,
If that's the case, what would you likely be like? What do you think you'd be like? How would you manage? What do we need to do? What do we need to put in place? Have we got health insurance in place? Have we got critical care insurance in place? What have we done? Are we running a business where one's doing one and one's doing the other? These are what I'm talking about. These are things you bring out from now. Talk up the things now, innit? As a matter of fact, we need to write a book called Talking Up the Things.
I think so. I think so. And just, yeah, I think there's probably quite a few books out there on how to have relationships and that, but
There
I
are.
don't
There's
know.
loads of them. I can tell you what a lot of them are. I mean, I know a number of them. 101 things to ask before getting engaged, for
Yeah,
example. Really
yeah.
good book.
Mm.
But most people don't get through the 101. Most couples I've spoken to have never got to 101. Why not? You've got all these questions, ask the questions. But we get comfortable because we managed to get through 20, we're good. No, you ain't. Because there's still another 81 to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Good maths there. Good maths.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's 81 to go after you meet your 20. And actually, it might be when you get to question 70 or question 80 or 90 that you actually think, oh my God, we're in trouble. What do you need to mitigate against? What do you need to work out? What do you need to discuss now and then work out from now so in case it happens, you're already ready? These are things I'm talking to people about. What sort of life insurance have you got in place? Marcus, well, we're not dead. I don't care if you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Make those things now so you know that your couple, your partner, your family, they're okay. And that's when you're being an adult, you're talking up the things from now. What things are in the history in your family? What
mm,
things do we need to check about what we eat?
mm.
Do we need to make sure we reduce sugar, reduce salt, reduce fat? Do we need to go and exercise more together? Maybe I don't like exercising with you, but I can support you to do a plank. While you're doing your plank, I'm at the gym. Whatever it is. Do you see what I mean? But make sure and help. And I just say plank, Plank.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's really important that we have those discussions. How are we going to have a discussion? How are we, together as a couple, going to approach our health? How are we going to approach finance? How do we approach business? What things are important for you? What dreams have you had that maybe you didn't even remember? Let's discuss those because they're going to come up.
Mm,
Because if it's in the past memory or past thought, it's going to come in the present. How much time do you spend on social media?
good
How
question.
do you have you got strong traits of autism? Do you
Mm,
stim a lot? How do you stim?
mm.
People don't want to ask those questions, but because of my experience, I'll ask them these questions. That's why most people don't ever finish my relationship um, counseling sessions. You go through a few and they like get frightened and kind of run off, really, to be honest. Because I'm
Well,
hitting everything.
there's a lot to consider, but marriages are supposed to be forever, not just for the
Well,
wedding
hopefully,
day.
not many people are doing marriage forever these days. They skip in and skip out. But I
Mm,
say to people, if you're going to get married, get yourself ready because you're going to marry a lot of things.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot.
Like for example, right now I'm working with somebody who right now their partner is a beast. They're a beast, an absolute beast, and I've been beast for years. And the reality is that they've now realized, oh my God, this person's been a beast. Now they've realized it, they've got to go through all kind of different things to try and make sure that things can be okay for them and the children.
Well, it's likely
No,
that
the
if,
beast is not always the man. Sometimes the beast is the woman. Sometimes the beast is the other person, whoever your other is.
yeah, yeah, there are some wicked women out there, you know,
There's some
and
wicked people out there.
yeah,
And
and
some become wicked over time. Something happens, something clicks in them, and it switches that on. That
mm,
might be something that was in their family we didn't even know about.
yeah.
We only find out later on. Is there some mental health? And the family's got to be honest, man. I like to interview families, I like to interview friends. I like to ask them, is there something I need to know about this person that they haven't told me?
Honesty is big. I think a lot of people don't actually want to be honest about the person that they're living with and married to, because sometimes the picture on the outside looks so glossy and perfect, but what's going on the inside, we just
Oh,
don't talk about it. Let me just cover it over. What
it,
goes on in the house stays in the house. Don't
oh,
talk about what goes on outside to anybody, because they don't need to know. The dolly
exactly.
house looks good, and that's it.
Yes. And the thing is, we always work from the veneer. But I tell people, take the veneer off and let's look at the reality of what's really going on. What are we really facing? What are we really doing? What are we really having to deal with? What are the bigger issues that's really the ones that's really things that we got to face? What are they? How are they? Let's look, take a look. Let's be
Take
open.
them
Let's
on
be honest
paper.
with each other. Let's be truthful to each other. Let's really be real. What is at the midst of the depths of my heart? What is the darkest parts? What are the deeper, darker secrets I've really got? Those are the things people don't want to talk about. People don't want to say. They don't want to be open about. I want to know about the darkness, not just the light.
I prefer the darkness because that's where
Let's
the
not
truth.
go there today. You know already.
Okay, all right. But that's where the growth is, isn't it? You know, that's where you grow, that's where you learn, that's where you get to figure out who it is that you're really laying
Yes,
down with.
absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. And I'm so excited that we're moving on to make things happen the way it should be done. And what I mean is by we're moving on because we're having these conversations.
Yeah,
Times before these conversations weren't happening. And if
yeah,
they did, they were happening over a cup of tea or having over a drink. People just have a little conversation, very small. But now we've got spaces where you can go on YouTube and do searches for this stuff. There's no
yeah.
reason why we shouldn't be asking the questions because there's loads of places where you can get the answers from.
Mm.
Or even just a space where you can open up the questions so that we can actually have a conversation. And let's
Mm.
see what's really going on. Let's talk up the things.
I think maybe it might be harder doing it with somebody else and more painful, because then you've got to take accountability for your behavior and your actions, don't you?
Do you? Most people aren't taking accountability at all.
I suppose then that's where having a counselor, a
Yeah.
relationship counselor, marriage counselor, whatever, comes in
Or a
handy.
grief and loss counselor. Because actually, a lot of the time, the bigger issues we're dealing with is right now I'm grieving about what I should have, could have, would have had, or didn't have before. I've not dealt with the grief about the fact that this happened in my last relationship. And I brought that into my present relationship. And I
Mm,
didn't even realize I did that.
mm,
There's some of
yeah.
these fears to this thing. And that's why I say to people get as much support as you can. Go get yourself a counselor, get yourself some grief and loss support, get yourself some help.
I don't think that I can be won over in this whole relationship thing. Don't think I can.
It's because you have got so much work that you're doing, there's not as much space as maybe some other people will try to make for it.
Oh,
And it
really?
depends on what switches you on. The reality is
Okay.
that I love being around people, but naturally I like being by myself.
Yeah.
So people like that find it quite much easier to be able to be in a place of singledom, as it were.
Yeah.
Or instead we go for long distance relationships so we don't have to plug in so much.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that? Yeah, you
Yeah.
see the year change right there.
Yeah. I think I would be like, I don't know whether it was number 3 or 4 on the list. I can't remember. It was quite high up though. Somebody who's invested in their career.
Ah, yes. You
Yeah.
actually said it. Actually, when you said it, you said that's me. That you actually, I think you said something like that's me, or something like
Yeah.
that's one that a partner of mine would have to consider.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because if you can't go to the realms of dying, death, and grief, then I can't have you glazing over every time I open my mouth. I'm going to feel inhibited. I can't talk. I can't
Exactly.
relate with you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And then likewise, it is darkness. I spend a lot of time in the dark. So you're going to have to, you know, come on, Laura, let's go cinema. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's,
Well, maybe not cinema because
once
cinema
in a
is
while.
in the dark as well. So maybe not in the cinema.
Yeah, but
Go for more.
cinemas, yeah, let's go to a forest, go to the sea. Let's,
Yeah.
something out of the box, I think. And I just think that sometimes I don't know, maybe I'm coming from a space of ignorance and narrow-mindedness, but I don't see people being very adventurous.
No, because people now are more moved by what they can do in the safety of their home, more than what is they can do when they expel themselves out of their home and go and see what the difference of life can be. Like I remember, I was saying to a friend of mine, "Oh, I'm going out." He goes, "Oh, where you going?" I said, "I'm going out. I'm going down to the forest area. They've got these bluebells that come out. It's amazing. I'm going to
Yeah.
do bluebells walk." He said, "You're going to go and do bluebell walking, Marcus?
A
Wow."
big old hard back man like you, black man at that. What are you
Yeah,
going in?
why are you going into bluebells, bruv? Like, what's that about?
And it's nature.
And I said to him, listen, I showed him the pictures. He said, oh my gosh. I showed him the pictures, didn't move him. When I showed him the video, he goes, oh, that's amazing. I said, and why didn't you think of that when I told you I was going to? And he said, oh, I didn't think of it like that. You know, it's like, man, you know what I mean, man them thing. I said, not man them thing. I said, you're being an idiot. And you're
Yeah,
being an idiot because you didn't want to open up your mind to something that for me was very natural for me to do. I love being in the green.
yeah.
Love it so much. I can't go as much now as I'd like to because I got to be more careful, obviously because of my
Mm,
disabilities and stuff. But apart from that, I love it. Absolutely love it.
yeah. Nature always wins. And I think that
Always.
if you and your partner or you and your loved ones can spend as much time in nature as possible, then you get to actually have conversations. You get to
Yes,
know who you are and who your
yes,
people are, you
yeah.
know? Yeah,
And not only that, we know that in regards to nature itself is the gift that's been given to us so
yeah.
that we can turn around and dispel a lot of things.
Mm,
As I say to people all the time, if you're a man or woman, put your feet on the ground and immediately the earth itself pulls away a lot of the stuff that we don't need and helps to regenerate us. I say,
mm,
if you're a woman, make sure to lay your stomach on the ground because
mm.
that helps because that's the place of the womb area where it is that a lot of troubles and emotions lie. A man, I say, put your chest or your shoulders on the ground because we carry things as men in our chest and our shoulder. See, there's things we need to do. If you're someone that's a big thinker, put the back of your head on the ground, roll your head over and let the top of your forehead sit on the ground and dispel. You see? Why did you give that expression just then? It's almost like as if you went there.
Did. I did go there. It's so true though, just if you're an angry person, if you've got stuff on your mind, if you're pent up with stress and anxiety, go for a walk,
Oh
go
my
and
gosh. It's one of the
see,
biggest things.
find out where it is that you live, find out where the nature spots
Yeah,
are, and just
yes.
take
Find
time.
out where it is that those places are where you can completely be the best you that you can be.
Mm,
Literally. I say to people all the time, there are some things that can happen that can make the change, and it only will happen when you make the decision. So make
mm,
the decision. Don't
yeah.
waste time. Don't think about it. Just do it. Stop trying to work it out.
Mm,
Stop trying to see what do I need to do here? What do I need to do? Stop all of that. Just do it. And when you do it, you are your best because you did it.
yeah.
You make the decision. You make it happen. You push it forward. You say yes. You say enough is enough. You make that. You do it. Take a hold and say, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm taking charge. I'm making a stand. I'm moving forward. And there's nothing anyone can do to stop me.
Mm.
And that's where we'll have much more strength, more power, much more will come to us when we make those decisions.
So what happens if one decides that they want a divorce and the other one doesn't?
Well, then you can still go forward with the divorce anyway, according to law, and particularly in this country.
Mm, okay. Doesn't the whole compromise and all them things there come in? What's
There are
your
things that can come in there, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen and work for real either.
right?
That's the
Okay.
reality. That's the reality. As I tell people all the time, do not be fooled. Just because this is the desire, this is the want, doesn't mean things are going to happen in certain ways. Everyone sees things different. One person might want a divorce, the other person doesn't want it. I was in that position myself at one point,
Mm,
where I wanted a divorce and she wasn't having it. And that's her entitlement. I could have
mm,
still pushed on with it, but the warfare for me was too much, so I didn't.
mm.
You
Do you
know,
think that people give in too easily?
sometimes. I think it just depends on what the situation is. I think it's quite difficult generally in life because we don't know what we're going to face later on. I didn't get into the whole thing about getting married to get divorced. That was not
Mm,
my plan.
mm.
That was not ever in my. That was not, divorce was not even in my thought pattern. It wasn't in my sphere at all.
because you'd never personally experienced it with your parents, or
No,
were quite a rarity having parents that are still together
yes.
uh,
And
over
a lot of
40
the parents
years.
I had around me have been married for years.
Mm,
Most of them separated not because they separated because one passed away and the other one passed away, and that's how that
right.
was that.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And that's the history I come from. So therefore, that wasn't the case.
But historically, marriages did last longer than they did
Yeah,
nowadays, though.
yeah, because they didn't have all the madness that people have now. The
Mm,
social media alone is causing a very big issue,
mm,
massive. Because now people are telling each other how you should live, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't should be doing, how you should be doing it. It's just crazy.
yeah.
Everyone's like one of those lists you was talking about in the social media.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
hating what you should be doing. Everybody is. It's
Mm,
crazy.
mm. It is. It's a weird time to be around, isn't it? It really is.
Oh, goodness. And it's a different time altogether. Life has become different. We
Mm,
no longer see things. People don't work at friendships as they used to. People
mm,
aren't working at relationships. They're not seen as let's come together, let's join, let's make it work. It's
mm.
like you don't like me, I don't like you, right, I'm done with you. It's a
Yeah.
cancel culture thing, isn't it? I just cancel you, I cancel that partner, I cancel that marriage, I just get divorced, move on to the next. It's just fine. But
Mm,
actually, people aren't saying, we come together, we want to be together, let's work this thing out. Let's try and make it happen.
mm.
Instead, it's just there's more fish in the sea.
Yeah.
And that's reality.
Yeah. But it's the quality of the fish, though, isn't it? If the fish is on the beach flapping around, then they're maybe not the same quality as somebody who's actually deep down
What
in
is
the
that what
ocean.
I said before earlier on?
That's yeah, I'm
Guilty.
rounding it up.
Come on now.
I've been
Are you talking
listening.
about those that are on the sand? Or is
Yeah.
what those you got to put special clothes on? You got to take a ship to go out there,
Mm,
then put special clothes in because they're in the deep. So
mm,
you can't even breathe at that velocity where
mm.
you have to find them. You got to change yourself to be able to reach where they are. That's what
Yeah.
real relationship is about. Making
Mm,
a change, putting on the different clothes, going to
mm,
a different breathing space, using different apparatus to reach where they are, to bring them where you are, so that they don't have to change their own, and you change your own, you come together in harmony rather
mm.
than disharmony, which most of us are in.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not anti-relationships. I think I should just say I'm not anti-relationships. I'm just deep in the ocean. And so if anybody wants me, then they're going to have to come deep into the ocean. It has to be a man.
But it's why they go deep in the ocean. That also there's lots of opportunities to see many different types of things within the corals that are there. Many men and women get lost in the corals and don't find the things they're trying to find.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's long. It's long.
And can be lovely if we spend the time. If you're just talking about traditional spaces in regards to men and women, just for this moment, men are supposed to be the hunters, women are to be found, as I always hear people say. But if that's the case, we should be going out the deep for them. But there's so many, it's on the sea corner and in the sands. It's just easy pickings.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's
I
not talk about the actual availability of men and women, particularly if we're talking about black and brown at the moment. That's
yeah.
another story again. Because
Mm.
there's much more. There's lots of them, but there's lots more women than there are men on the earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So men have got to pick, choose, and refuse.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
It's real.
And sometimes it's
So
just
talking
easier.
about that, so you spoke about yourself. What would a man need to do to find you?
Put on the apparatus, put on a very tight wetsuit and
I'm
some clothes.
involved. You have to get well, they're not my pearls, this is my mint imperials. But I'm not getting involved in that. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most men aren't getting involved in it either. So,
But
yeah.
I'm trying to get my brothers to come, my cousin's available. And actually, no, she's not available. Actually, she's not. But she might be available later on. Come.
Later on, yeah. Right about now, married to the death work. But yeah, it's there's you've given us a lot to consider today.
Mm,
It's been a really nice conversation. It's been quite refreshing to hear the perspective of a man. I know that you don't speak for all men,
no.
fortunately, um, but it is what it is. We grow,
Mm,
we learn, and
Mm.
we keep moving forward, and hopefully the generations to come will get it right, and hopefully we'll get ourselves back on track.
Hope, I'm not sure.
No.
No, I'm not. I
Okay.
tell you, people aren't willing to put the work in anymore.
Mm.
They're not willing to put the work in. They've got to be willing to put the work in. And we're not.
We're living in a time of change now, though, going into the information age and the age of Aquarius. Do you think maybe relationships are about to change their look?
They've already changed already.
Right. Okay.
That's clear. Relationships aren't as they once were at all. Everything's changed. It's a bit like on the train when you get to the end of the line, it says all change. It has all changed. People that have relationships right now with things that aren't even human.
Yeah, you're
They're
right.
having relationships with AI dolls and AI beings. The more recently it's just been released. Just I won't go into that. That's another story. I'll press pause on that one. But it's crazy right now. It's different. People have online relationships with people that are real, but they're online. You never meet them. They never
Mm,
ever, but they're having real relationships as far as they're concerned.
mm, yeah. Yeah.
One person the other day recently has reported was wanting to not to be in a relationship, wanting to marry their AI.
Yeah. 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 I heard about that.
We're in
It's
different world times now, so I think we just need to try and do the best we can to move things as far forward as we can, but still try to hold on to the little part of humanity we still have. Because right now there is a fight for humanity. There's a fight for reality and there's a fight for truth. And those things are at war right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that that's paramount. I think that that's the urgency. And I think that you get through that fight by knowing who you are,
Hmm.
know thyself, because I think times are coming where, you won't be able to look at the person next to you. They don't actually exist, only in your mind. Yeah, because, and I suppose that's the same with relationships. You can have somebody who has an idea of what the person they're laying down with is, but that's not actually the reality. And so when they are hit with the reality, it's like, but you're not the person I know and love. No, the person you know and love exists in your head. You
Yes.
created them in your head. You got what you felt you needed from
Or
that vision
wanted.
or
Yes.
wanted. Yeah. But
Yeah.
oftentimes we don't know the person we're laying down
We
with.
can order a person now online.
Mm,
We
true.
can order an avatar.
Yeah.
An
Yeah.
avatar will be able to learn who you are, learn how you are, what you do, and that will become your reality. We
Mm,
are in very different times now. So that's why I say connect as you can connect in truth,
mm,
connect in wholeness,
mm.
connect in reality. Because if we're not connecting reality, we're connecting other things.
You know any websites that you can recommend where I can find those other things?
Let's talk about that offline.
Okay, perfect. All right.
You're
Well,
welcome.
it's been a pleasure speaking to you today, Marcus.
It's been wonderful speaking to you indeed, as always. I always look forward to our conversations. And many people said from the last one that we
Yeah,
should do some more. So we definitely need to do some more. But I think this talk up the things was necessary
yeah,
because too much is going on that we're not responding to. And we
yeah.
need to respond to it in the now, in the right now, not in the craziness of it all, but right now in the calm of it all before the craziness begins.
And do we respond to it, or is it that we're supposed to teach our children, but we never know what's going to happen? We don't know what their future looks like, do we?
Well, we don't because we don't know what future is going to be.
Mm,
Because where we are right now, anything can happen in any moment at any time.
yeah.
Just live your best life, your most safest life, and the most truthful life that you can in
Mm.
connection right now. Because we don't know what's going to become.
Which is why I say that it's most important to know thyself.
And self being the key word.
Hmm.
It's been wonderful talking to you as always. You are incredible. I
Thank,
applaud you.
thank you. I applaud you too. And it's a pleasure working with you and being able to share DNA with you. Not in that way. We are actually related.
Yeah, we're blood for
We are
those.
blood.
We're,
Yeah,
blood,
yeah.
we're family. And it's wonderful sharing that space with you as always. And thank you for being the amazing LP that you are, because we need you.
Thank
Because you're
you.
bringing truth to places and spaces that other people are not.
Yeah,
And you're bringing reality and you're bringing our people to our people so that other people can also learn too. So
true.
we applaud you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Will you come back?
As always,
Perfect. All right.
anywhere I'm invited and a place where it's invited, which is true, open, and real, I'm always happy to attend.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. So there you have it. A beautiful interview with the one named Marcus Morgan Valentine. The two of us have been talking the things on relationships. It's been a conversation that has been long awaited. We've planned to do it for a little while, but now was the time.
Yes.
So, yes, thank you once again, Marcus. And we will reconvene in a few weeks' time.
Looking forward to it. Ciao, everybody. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.